Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Channel. Yes, it is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and coming up, we'll speak with Brian Bell, the Ford F-150 marketing manager, about the updated 2024 F-150. Conrad has This Week in Auto History, and we'll get you caught up on the stories making car news this week. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us on this Saturday live broadcast.
And do a quick shout out.
Please.
Okay. I met a couple of young sales professionals this past week, a young lady by the name of Miriam and a young man nicknamed Ram. They work at a Subaru store here in Houston. Met them earlier this week. Young folks eager to go out and sell cars. So congratulations on that, and go sell something.
Go sell something. Good. Well, I think that F-150, the sales in that department have not waned any for, 4 decades?
Something like that, yeah. Top of the heap.
Top of the heap. And for a reason. Ford manages to, when they do updates, they don't turn anybody off. They turn a lot of people on with the updates that they do. Man, I sure like that new 2024 that's coming out. Yeah, my 2022 has now got, 30,000 miles on it. I'm going to have to go buy me a brand new
I need a new one.
Yeah. So Ford is freshening the F-150 lineup for 24 and planning to double output of the hybrid variant as it seeks to maintain the truck's sales dominance. The updated pickup goes on sale early next year. It was revealed Tuesday ahead of the Detroit Auto Show. It includes freshened hybrid, Tremor, and Raptor variants with new design elements and improved tailgate functionality. And I don't want to steal any of his thunder. Let's just talk to him now. Brian, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on the air, and I'm excited to be here. I'm also excited to hear you're ready for a new 24 model year F-150.
I'll bet you are.
Send it.
And I'm going to have to make a request. Can I make a request?
Of course.
Okay. I want the Dallas press fleet to be the very first to get a 2024 model, and I want me to get the phone call from you guys and go, we have it for you, come and get it. And so have it delivered to my house. I want to drive this immediately. Now, I understand that the 2024 model, this is just a refresh, if you will. The underpinnings are pretty much the same as they have been here in the past few years.
Yeah, we freshened the look of the truck, and we added some great new features and technology for our customers.
I want to talk about the tailgate.
Oh, of course, our new Pro Access tailgate. We are the most excited about that, right? I mean, we really pride ourselves in knowing how our customers use trucks, and when we wanted to look at the tailgate and said, how can we make it better for customers? We developed this tailgate with a swing door in the middle of it, so it works still as a traditional tailgate. Has this swing door that actually works when you're towing a trailer. So, if you look at it at our customers, about 75% of our customers tell us they tow trailers with their trucks. So it's an important thing for them. I mean, and I do, right, as well. So when you're towing that trailer, to have that swing gate that'll open up and work with that trailer so that you can get those items in and out. For me, it's the boat, right? I can get my boat gear, my coolers, things like that out of the tailgate without reaching over while I've got the boat on the back, right? We just think it's a really, really useful tool, another way to improve that F-150 to really help those customers.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the way that it works, and I know that there'll probably be lots of videos out there about how it works. Probably one already, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yep. And we may run one here in just a second because I've got it off the Ford website.
Okay, very good. So that's one of the things. The other thing is that you guys are going to make some changes when it comes to engines. You're going to drop the 3.3-liter V6 and replace it with the 2.7-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder. Now, as an old car guy, you're going to go, wait a minute. First you go from a V8 to a V6, and now you're going to drop it down to a 4, but the 4-banger has more guts to it than the 6 did.
Well, just for clarification, our 2.7-liter EcoBoost is a V6.
It is?
we have a competitor that might have a 2.7 with a 4-cylinder. Ours is a V6, and you're right, it produces 400 horsepower or 325 horsepower, 400 foot-pound of torque, right? So it's a torque monster engine, and we're really excited to make that the standard engine for the truck, thinking it's going to be great for those customers.
A 2.7 liter V6 EcoBoost.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
It's a phenomenal motor. It really, when people drive it, they just, they love it, right? It does so many things well.
And the other thing that I understand that you guys are going to actually have the Platinum Plus replacing the limited top trim model.
Yeah. So, we took that limited. It's been around a long time, and it's a great series for us. But there's some confusion on the name and the showroom, and so we thought it was a great opportunity to kind of to pull all that luxury vehicle up under one name and have it be Platinum in our showroom with the Platinum and then the Platinum Plus package on it. To kind of help customers and help build that Platinum brand up.
And you guys are actually really pumping up the hybrid, I understand.
Yeah. So hybrid's a real advantage for us. I mean, we call it the and solution powertrain, or I like to think of it as the ultimate and solution powertrain. It's got power and fuel efficiency and pro power on board, right? So the no other gas vehicle in this segment has that capability to have a mobile generator with them. And so you can take up to 7.2 kilowatts of power with you anywhere you go. And we hear such great stories from all over the place about how people are using their pro power on board system. We actually last week heard about a dentist up in Maine that has a mobile dentist office. They take it to very rural communities and give free dental work to people that need it. And, they used to, have to take trucks with their generators and gas cans and things to power it. They now just have a PowerBoost hybrid that pulls their mobile dental trailer, and they power that whole mobile dental trailer with Pro Power on board, right?
They get your teeth fixed.
It's curb service.
We hear about things like that, and there's so many stories about saving weddings and of course the outages in Texas where the Pro Power on board, the PowerBoost help people. And so we're really excited to kind of help spread this technology even farther. So we're planning to double our mix of the engine, and we're drop the price by $1,900 to do that. So it's actually the same price as our 3.5 EcoBoost engine now.
That's impressive. Yeah. Well, you have to stay number one, and the way to do that is doing these updates and changes that goes with the market at the time.
Yeah, we've been the truck leader for 46 years. And again, like I said, we really pride ourselves on learning the customer and knowing how they use their truck and trying to help them get more use out of it. We think of the truck as a tool, right? People who buy a truck, they need a truck to do truck things. It's a tool for them. We want to make it the best tool in your toolbox.
Well, now wait just a minute. Not everybody uses their truck for work down here in Texas. It's all about the look, my friend.
There are
I see that smile on his face
for appearance, but when you look at our usages, even those folks that buy it, once they have a truck, they find uses for it, right? They learn how useful the truck can be. I like to think of it as the perfect vehicle. It does everything well, right?
Well, that's why you sell so many of them. And let's face it. I mean, the back seat of the 4-door. I mean, it might as well be in a limousine.
It's just as comfortable, right? All the room, leg room, ride comfort, quiet, it's everything you need.
Now, for all of those tech guys, I understand that you guys have bumped it up to the 5G LTE modem.
We have. So we put some technology in the truck as well. We've standardized the 5G LTE modem in the truck so that when we get those over-the-air updates, they'll be faster and quicker. And if you use the truck as a Wi-Fi hotspot, to power up to your 10 devices, it'll, of course, give you faster service for that. But we also added some other new technologies to the truck. We standardized our great 12-inch touchscreen all the way through the lineup. We've got the new Blue Cruise coming that'll actually do lane change assist. We put a heads-up display in the truck so people don't have to look down. And in our heads-up display, you can actually have different views. If you're towing a trailer, if you're going off-road, we change the views in it to really be helpful to you. Right? So we put some other new technology in the truck as well.
Well, go ahead, Mr.
I like heads-up displays. I mean, I love them, and the fact that you're putting even more information up there to me is just wonderful.
And the trailer view is a great idea as well, because if you're pulling a trailer, how many times do you look over your shoulder and take your eyes off the road to make sure you're in the right position?
Or make sure that the trailer's still back there.
been known to do that.
Yes, I have too.
Was that my trailer that just
Passed me by? Yeah. Wait a minute. What's that going off into the ditch? But oh, that's my trailer. Yeah, there are those kinds of things. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Blue Cruise technology, the hands-free.
Sure.
I've had some experiences with the hands-free driving, and I will tell you that a lot of it has to do with the markings on the road. And if the markings on the road aren't there, you could get into trouble pretty quick.
So, I've driven quite a few miles with it, and you're right. Sometimes the markings on the road thin, but the truck tells you to grab onto the steering wheel. It comes along very quickly and helps you pay attention. And, when you use Blue Cruise, there's a camera that watches your eyes to make sure you're paying attention to the road. And so my experience with it on long trips is I think I pay better attention than even without it, right? You're watching the road, the truck's making sure you do. But at the same time, when you get to your destination 10 hours later, you're not nearly as tired or exhausted. You're fresher through that trip. And I was surprised by that the first time I used it from St. Louis to Detroit, how that feeling was with me. And now we're making it even better, right? So that we've improved it, works with even more roads. It changes lanes for you. And it has better lane centering. So we're continually improving that technology as well.
I want to ask you about where the truck is being built, and is the UAW strike going to affect the delivery of the 24 for the spring?
So the F-150s are built at our Dearborn assembly plant and an assembly plant in Kansas City, and at this point, the plant that the union is striking is a different assembly facility, so it doesn't impact F-150. But I know we got great people on both sides of that trying to work through it, and hopefully they get to an agreement soon.
Yeah. Is it the Rouge plant that the truck is being built?
Yeah, the old Rouge plant in Dearborn. Yep.
Yep. That's awesome. But you guys have other assemblies for the F-150. I mean, you can't make them all in one place. It's
Right.
too many.
We make them also in Kansas City. We've got a fantastic facility down there, our Kansas City assembly plant.
I've actually got a segment coming up about plants, so
There you go.
Lead right into it.
That's good to know. Okay, so let's talk about delivery to the dealer.
Yep. So they'll come out to dealers the first part of next year. We're taking orders now. The order banks are open. You can go on Ford.com on our build and price and spec out what you're looking for, and go to your dealer and order it. And then they should be in showrooms first part of next year.
Now, doing my homework here, somewhere I read the fact that you've kind of cut back on some of the individual orders as far as, the individual things that are available to order, and you've packaged them up to make it simpler to buy.
Yeah, so F-150 has been a fairly complicated vehicle for our customers to order. So we spent quite a bit of time these last couple of years really trying to make it easier for them. We still got a great full lineup all the way from our Work Truck XL all the way up to the Platinum Plus and, of course, Raptor and Tremor, right? So we've got the full lineup. We're just making it simpler for those customers to order. So an example is Raptor now is down to 6 ways to order it. Really, really easy to order. And we've reduced complexity across our lineup by over 90%.
Well, I'll never forget when I first started doing this many years ago with reviews and that sort of thing. I talked to one of the guys that handles the press, and I said, "So how many options are there?" And he said, "Well, there are so many that I can't even count them all, because if you really want to get down to it, you can change axle ratios, transmissions, all of these different things that you can customize for your truck. And that's what makes it really unique, especially for the guy that's using the truck for work."
But I think on the assembly side of things, simplifying the build has proven increasing the quality. Because when you don't have so many choices to make, everything's consistent in how it's put together.
It really, simplifying it really benefits all the parties involved. We're going to make it a lot easier for customers to go in and spec out their truck. Of course, we're going to make it easier to engineer and manufacture by simplifying it. And we're also making it easier for dealers to stock, right? So when dealers stock that inventory, it's tough for them to figure out what to stock. So really all parties involved are going to benefit from this. And we used a lot of data to kind of help decide what features went together. We also had dealers help us. It's been a long project to make sure we did it right, and like I said, customers can go see that now on Ford.com. We still have a full line of accessories on there that they'll see as well. So,
Brian, do you know Mike Levine?
of course I do.
Do you? Well, Mike used to be down here in Texas. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hey, Mike.
Don.
We love Mike Levine, and listen, when we get to see Mike Levine, which is rare because he's become a superstar among the press. It's always good to give him a nudge or give him a hard time.
Oh, Mike's fantastic. I was actually, working for the company when he was a journalist and got interviewed by him numerous times, and then getting to work with him, he is fantastic. He's so full of energy and great ideas, and it doesn't get any better than Mike.
Yeah,
so. He is definitely full of energy. Yeah.
And here's the famous Mike Levine line. Well, we don't talk about future product. That's the famous line. Yeah. So he's gone to the other side, and now he knows the lingo. That's for sure.
So he is full of it.
Well, yeah, there's that. Anyway, so we can order them now. They're going to be in dealerships in the spring, you say?
Yeah, first part of the year. After the first of the year, they'll start to show up in showrooms.
Okay. Very good. Well, one of the things that I was doing my research here, and I get online and I start looking at all of the stuff that's available and the changes. The grill seems to change with the trim level. Was I out of my mind when I noticed that?
No, we actually have from our XL, STX, and XLT and Tremor, they use what's called our new coast-to-coast grill, where the grill actually goes around the headlamps, and it has we're standard LED headlamps in the truck, and those headlamps have like an orange signature light in them. And then our Lariat, King Ranch, Platinum, and Raptor have a more traditional kind of, a stand-up grill that has also a new grill, a new headlamp that's got our white signature lighting and the C-clamp design. So we really tried to, when you sell this many trucks and you have the kind of the series, we tried to help differentiate it and give some different looks. And frankly, that new coast-to-coast grill that's going to be on our highest volume, it looks fantastic. It's got a bit of a retro feel to it from that, 80s kind of 90s truck in there. And then at the same time, it's just got this really strong, wide, powerful stance. And then, of course, our high-end grills look really, really premium and draw out that tradition that customers are used to the last few years with our C-clamp signature lighting design. Yeah.
Well, you guys did a great job in that regard, and we sure appreciate you talking to us today. And please forgive me if I offended you in any way. But I was kind of surprised at the 2.7 being a V6 and not a 4-cylinder.
We launched it. The engine launched as a 2.7 V6 in 2015, and it's been a big part of our lineup. And of course, we've improved it over the years, and now standardizing it, making that the standard engine with all that capability. Right, it's got great performance, great horsepower, torque numbers, great fuel economy for customers. We really think it's a really good move to make that the standard powertrain in the truck for those customers.
Anybody, anything else?
No, I think it makes sense on the V6 because to me that's where you're going to get a little more torque, like you're talking about. You're getting a lot more torque out of that than you would like an inline 4.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
400 foot-pounds, and you get it, of course, with the technology in it, that twin turbo direct fuel injection. It's that torque curve comes out very quickly, so you get that torque really, really fast.
And that's important to the truck buyers because I would think there are some truck buyers that would be a little less excited about a 4-cylinder versus a V6. They're going to want, the more power available.
Well, that's because of the torque thing and the whole idea behind towing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Brian, it's great to talk to you, and we sure appreciate you taking the time out of your Saturday to talk to us.
No, I appreciate you having me on. Let me talk about the new 24 model year F-150. Again, anybody wants any information, go to Ford.com. We've got all the information there that they can find about the truck.
And
already posted it on our social media for you.
And be sure and tell Mike Levine we said hello.
I will do that right now.
All right, brother. Take care.
Have a great Saturday.
You too. All right. Time now on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show for Conrad's This Week in Auto History.
Well, I thought an important person in time in the automotive history. It was 35 years ago that legendary auto designer Bill Mitchell passed away in 1988. And if you look at his history, he started with a 1949 Cadillac with
Yep.
the origination of tail fins. And then actually he moved on to the Corvair Monza SS, which doesn't look like a what you think a typical Corvair. I actually think there's a lot of Opel GT in that.
Right.
Corvette.
As well.
Corvette.
Corvette.
Yeah.
And then, you mentioned Corvette. He was involved in the Corvette Special Racer, which was the race car Corvette for the 63 Corvette. And then he was also the designer of the 63 Corvette split window. And the split window was very controversial. Zora didn't like the split window, but Mitchell loved it because of the design of it. He thought it was very, very important.
Well,
for
wasn't one of the main reasons is they couldn't get the glass to go totally
the
across?
glass, the glass
Technology,
right,
hadn't
wasn't there.
advanced.
Right.
And then in '64 they did. They took the split out of
Mhm.
it. Mitchell also had a 1966 Oldsmobile GT two-seater built, which was big 425 front-wheel drive two-seat Oldsmobile, which I thought was kind of a cool thing. And then in '66 he did a Corvair GT as well. Again, his involvement in the Corvair side of things. Mitchell was also the designer of the original Corvette Mako Shark
Oh, yeah.
from 1967. Well, that's the 65 Riviera.
We saw it. It went by.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then and Mitchell, his love of the Buick brand, and he did a lot of the different Rivieras through the years. And that was always one of my favorites, the little boat tail on the Riviera, which was kind of an iteration of the Corvette rear glass as well. And then he did the Astro 1, the Astro 2, and the Astro 3, which are all considered design studies of future Corvettes.
I need that chair. Look at that chair. Isn't that awesome? It's got a Cadillac logo on it. Christmas is coming.
So, and then, also Mitchell did the 1970 Camaro. And the 1970 it lasted through 81 Camaro were all a bit of Mitchell designs. That's the Manta Ray Corvette that he did as well. And then the final thing was the 1977 Pontiac Phantom, which was his final design. Was the Pontiac Phantom. He was involved in the Monte Carlos as well, the 70, 73 Monte Carlos, which I always thought was the start of that personal luxury car, the Grand Prix Monte Carlo, that whole generation. This is the Phantom. If you look at the Phantom, Mitchell had a very retro view of things. The red inside fenders, which is a retro thing out of a 50s model Buick, and you look at the nose on that Phantom, and you can definitely see the Pontiac family to it. Very, very famous person within car design. He'd worked with Harley Earl in his early season at General Motors, and then ran GM Design later in his life, and huge impact on automotive design through time.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Of course, the big story today in the news is the UAW strike at the Detroit 3, and we're going to talk more about that at the top of next hour. In the meantime, and in between time,
All right.
we have the recalls. Not a lot of them, but inoperative rear turn signals on the Subaru BRZ and the Toyota GUR 86. Rear view camera image may not display on several Kias, the Sorento Hybrid, and the Sorento PHEV for 22 and 23. The Audi e-tron GT and the RS e-tron GT, insufficient sealant on the high voltage battery.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
No, it's electrifying.
And I think
Shocking.
every Taycan from Porsche is being recalled for 2023. And I'm going to list them all here, but insufficient sealant, again, on the high voltage battery, clearly sharing it with the Audi e-tron.
Mhm.
So-
All $100,000 plus cars.
So I know that we have a lot of listeners that have $100,000 plus cars.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you agree?
George
does. Yeah, he definitely has a $100,000 car. U.S. market share for electric vehicles rose to 7.2% in January to July period, according to new vehicle registration data from Experian, with Tesla spurring demand with escalating price cuts throughout the year. New U.S. EV registrations rose to 655,000 in the 7-month period, for a 67% rise over the year earlier period when EV share was 4.9%. Total new light vehicle registrations for the 7 months are about 9.1 million. So you can see in comparison, it's really kind of tiny if you look at the overall.
Yeah, and if you took away the government subsidies for EVs, I imagine the market share would fall.
Yeah. Tesla outweighs them all, 59.5% share of the EV market. All of the rest of them are in the single digits or less. Mm-hmm. So, they're getting there, but it's going to take a long while. And I think that there are a lot of reservations about diving into owning an EV.
Well, if you kind of if you watch the news this week, Pete Buttigieg was fussing about he couldn't get his EV car charged.
Yeah,
somewhere because I guess somebody had parked in front of the charger on him.
No, that wasn't him. It was his secretary. It wasn't him at all. It was the lady.
Secretary of Transportation or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, but they were making a big deal about taking this EV road trip, and they got burned.
Yeah.
Not literally, but
cops called.
No, I mean, literally. They ran into a lot of issues with chargers not working, stuff that we run into all the time now.
And we talk about all the time.
Yeah,
they had an ice engine, ice car parked in a electric spot to reserve it for her.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you that I drove through the Whole Foods parking lot where my famous EV charger is. It's all rusted. This is an EV Go, okay, charging station. It's all rusted. It looks like it's been there for decades, and then it doesn't work.
Wow!
And one time I went there, and it didn't work. So
it's at a Whole Foods, no less.
I know of all places. Well,
go to Walmart.
So the government's going to spend billions of dollars upgrading all of these charging stations at your expense.
Yeah. Well, yes. Well, there's a lot of things that they do at my expense that I'm not
force you
too
to do
thrilled
something
with.
you don't want.
Time now for a quick break. We'll be right back here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Stay with us. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 of the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise Inn, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora,